Welcome to Joyful Gen Yoga. Today's practice is what I call a Yin+Gentle practice, where there's pieces of the practice that will be very much like a Yin yoga practice, longer holds, and really time to drop in. There will be a little bit of the practice where there's some invitation to move a little bit. None of the poses will be particularly strenuous, hopefully, but like with anything, if I offer something that does not kind of work in your body today, adjust and play with what does feel good. So in that vein, I'd love for you to really turn inward. That's my favorite part of Yin, is that it's really an opportunity to drop in and start to turn within towards yourself with a capital S. So in yoga we talk about pratyahara, this idea that you're removing yourself a bit from the sensory world. So during practice today, I invite you to come into this very simple little mantra. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. And see if you can start to let go of some of the other sensory input around you. All right, let's get started today on our bellies. So we'll join Boston here, who is kind of already in our shape that we're working towards. So we're going to come onto our belly, resting either a cheek to the mat. Oh, she didn't like that. Either a cheek to the mat or your forehead on your hands. I tend to like to keep my forehead on my hands because it just makes me feel like my whole spine is elongated and kind of in a neutral position. So we'll start here. And as we rest either cheek or forehead on the ground, I want you to take 5 steady breaths in and out, simply reminding yourself, I am breathing in and I am breathing out. You can let your eyes close down. And just notice the way your body feels when you're breathing. And then we'll transition our body into a half frog shape. So that looks like drawing our right leg out to the side a little bit. You can make kind of a 90-degree bend in that right knee. Your shin could be parallel to the mat if that feels good. Your hip might be kind of hiked up, and just as long as you are feeling okay where you are, settle your hips toward the earth. We'll be here for 10 steady breaths. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. Keeping your lower body just as it is, we'll transition into a sphinx shape with our upper body. As long as that feels safe and good in your shoulders and your back body, we'll pull our elbows underneath our shoulders, draw our heart forward, and stay here for another 10 breaths. Now, if this upsets your body or your low back, return back to that half frog and be there for 10 more breaths. I am breathing in am breathing out. Watch where your mind goes. See if you can bring it back. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. In your next breath, we'll start to soften our elbows out to the side just to rest the low back for a breath or two. So we'll extend our right arm out and then slide our left arm underneath. It's kind of a funny little movement. You can press into your right hand and roll onto your left side body. And then as you do, extend the right leg. You could hold onto it. You could use a strap. If it doesn't bother you to be free, let it be free. I always find my leg slips away, so I keep a hold of it. As we reach our right arm over to the right, we find ourselves in a revolved, reclined triangle shape. We'll be here for about 3 minutes, so allow your body to drop in here. Really start to return to that sense of I am breathing in and I am breathing out. And in that, you might start to set yourself up for success. Maybe it's for 5 breaths that you follow that mantra. And then you check in and you return back. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Observe where your mind goes when it loses focus. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. Where does your mind go when it loses focus? Drawing yourself inward. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. As you start to feel ready, release your right arm down to your side and then help to bend your right knee. We'll roll onto our back body, adjust And when you arrive, pause in a constructive rest pose. Notice. You might rest hands on belly to start to feel how your inhales, how your exhales feel in your body right now, right here. Notice any of that dull, achy sensation from holding that reclined, revolved triangle. And then gently begin to hug your right knee into your chest, coming into a half wind relieving pose. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. Notice if you feel a fair amount of sensation in your hips, or if this is a shape that helps you to simply relax and ground down toward the earth. Five more breaths. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. And we'll take this into a universal twist. So you could even place your right foot on your left thigh if that feels good. It's not necessary, but you might. We'll draw all the way onto our left side again. The right knee will touch down. If it feels like it's too far away from the earth, you could take a block and rest it. But I do want that right knee on something, on the earth or on a block. So what we're looking to do here is get opening through our entire body. So we'll take our right arm and reach it up and at a diagonal. So not directly out to the side, not directly up overhead. So at a diagonal. When I do this, my right arm does not touch the ground. In fact, it rests on Boston. So you can also have something underneath your right hand if that feels necessary, but generally, as long as there's no injury, you're perfectly fine just resting your right arm in space. We'll be here for about 2 minutes, about 20 breaths. Return back into that idea of I am breathing in and I am breathing out. There's nowhere else you need to be at the moment. We take this time for our body, for our mind, so that when we do return to the quote-unquote real world, we are our better selves, our higher self. Notice if the right arm starts to get heavier and heavier, opening across the right side chest, your pecs. Notice how your body might relax into this shape.
My right hand is now touching the ground. Not that that's a goal, but it goes to show how when we relax into an opening, our body usually responds positively. 5 more breaths. And then gently begin to release the right arm down. You might notice some tenderness or some kind of that dull, achy sensation, that right shoulder. Just acknowledge it. And then roll onto your back body. Pause again. You can have your knees bent if you'd like. Observe. And then continue to roll onto your right side. And as you do, we'll start to straighten our right arm, support our body with our right arm. Your legs might be sent out to the diagonal a little bit for support. And we'll start to release our right side rib cage toward the ground. So imagine that you're creating that rainbow shape with your right side body. You might have to bend your right arm. You might have to wiggle your right arm away a little bit. So we're looking to get length through that whole right side body. Imagine you're just simply creating space for your right side rib cage to expand. I am breathing in towards my right side rib cage. I am breathing out fully. And then gently begin to roll back onto your belly. I'm going to flip around so you can see what I'm doing in a moment, but the transition is just to roll onto your belly and start to work your left knee out to the side. So from here, we'll rest our forehead on our hands or cheek to the mat again. And we'll take the left leg out to the side in that half frog. Start to let your body settle down into this space. 10 breaths here. Staying in this half frog if that felt good on your other side. Or we'll take our elbows underneath our shoulders, coming into this combination of half frog and sphinx pose. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. Feeling that gentle compression in your low back if you've come up onto your elbows. Full awareness of your body and space.
Notice if at this point in practice your breath has lengthened a little bit. Your inhales are a little longer, your exhales are a little longer. Take another inhale. And then on exhale, allow your elbows to come back out to the side if you were in that Sphinx variation. Resting your forehead again. And then this time, we'll extend out through our left arm and start to slide our right arm underneath. So we'll start to press and roll onto our right side, and as we do, stretch that left leg out. You might hold your toe, you might use a strap to hold your foot. You don't have to hold your foot at all if you don't want. And then we'll reach our left arm directly back behind us. Now for me on this side, my arm doesn't touch the ground, so just like in that universal twist, if you want support under the arm, feel free. If not, let yourself be here. We'll drop into a little bit longer of a hold here. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. 'Continuing that little check-in with your mind. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. Five more steady breaths here. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. And gently begin to release your left arm down, help that left knee to bend, and we'll roll completely onto our back body. Again, if you want to pause in that constructive rest pose, you might. Offer another breath in and out. Hug your left knee into your chest. Extend that right leg, coming into the half wind relieving pose on the side. Where can you be softer?
What do you notice? What feels willing to open? What feels willing to ground down, to connect to the earth? What fleeting, passing, sensory need might your mind be asking you to satisfy? Can you continue to turn your mind towards yourself with a capital S, deeper and deeper inside? We can place that left foot on the right thigh. As we roll back onto the right side, at least partially, we'll let the left knee touch again on a block, on a prop, whatever works as long as it's rooted down. And we'll reach the left arm up and across your body, coming into this universal twist. Remember, the arm is at a diagonal. It's not straight out to the side. It's not straight up overhead. It's kind of reaching towards the corner edge of your mat. Pick a place to gaze, maybe up toward the sky, maybe towards your left thumb if it feels good on your neck. Eyes can soften down. And we'll turn back. I am breathing in, and I am breathing out. I am breathing in, and I am breathing out. I am exactly where I ought to be in the moment. Releasing that left arm down, coming back onto your back. You could bend your knees again, pausing. Hands might be on belly. Observe what you might have experienced in that shape. Allow yourself to be soft here, to be fully aware. And then we'll roll onto our left side. And as we do, start to straighten that left arm. Your legs could be off to the side. Your legs could be bent here as well. Your right hand helps to support you as you start to imagine letting your rib cage drop toward the earth. More and more spaciousness in the left side rib cage. I am breathing in, and I am breathing out. And then gently use your hands to guide your way up to a seat. And from that seat, we'll transition onto hands and knees. You might place something underneath your knees, a blanket perhaps. And then if you have blocks, they might come in handy as well. So we'll start on hands and knees with our toes tucked. And we'll walk our hands in and come all the way tall. So we're standing on our knees. If it bothers your feet, you can be on the tops of your feet as well. We'll inhale, reach up through our arms, and then start to imagine you are climbing a rope here, reaching up with one arm and then the other. Notice how your shoulders feel. We've done a lot of opening across your chest, so just kind of experience that, explore. And then release your hands down. Now, if it feels sturdy and stable to be kneeling, if anything's going on with your knees and you'd prefer to do this standing, feel free to do that as well. Or if you'd like, you could tuck your toes and sit back on your heels. It's a lot of sensation, so you might not choose this version. Wherever we are, standing, kneeling, or coming into this toe stand, we can take our hands back behind us, interlace fingers, and start to draw our heart forward. You might then pull your arms slightly away from your back, and you might even gaze up toward the sky. Just a gentle lift of your chin, nothing crazy. We're not dropping our head back. Opening up through the front part of our body. Take another inhale. And exhale, release that here. Come back up to a tall kneel if that feels okay. And we'll flow a little bit with our breath. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands come to hearts. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll bring our hands forward, perhaps onto blocks, and we'll step the right foot in between our hands, coming into a low lunge, and just start to flow a little bit here. Straightening the right leg, rebending. Straightening the right leg, and rebending. You might keep your hands planted and just shift from your hips. Do what makes sense in your body, what feels good. And the next time your right knee is bent, walk your hands onto that right thigh. Left hand stays on the thigh, right arm reaches back if that feels good. You might even gaze back over your right thumb. We've done a lot of twisted movements this morning. Notice how it feels. You could take your right hand to the small of your back as well, or right onto your hip. Full inhale. And exhale, look forward, arms sweep up. Take a hold of your left wrist, lift and lengthen, and lean a little bit to the right, opening up through that left front of your thigh, hip flexor. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, hands down, and we'll take the right leg back. Can take the blocks out in front of you for a moment. We'll take our knees wide, shift hips to heels, and find ourselves in child's pose. Doing whatever you'd like with your arms. They could be stretched out in front of you, resting back behind you. And then hands come back up and underneath your shoulders, knees draw underneath your hips. We'll inhale, pull heart forward. Exhale, round it in. Inhale, moving that spine. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, heart draws forward. Exhale, round it in. Inhale for neutral, and then take your blocks underneath your shoulders again. And we'll step the left foot forward. Pulling heart forward, pulling your right thigh forward, and then start to shift back, getting that hamstring stretch. So just adjusting from the lunge to the hamstring stretch. What feels good, what feels necessary in your body. Where does your mind go when you're in movement? Can you stay with that steady focus? I am breathing in and I am breathing out. Bending into that left knee, pause. Walk your hands up your thigh. You can keep your right hands on that left knee and then reaching the left arm back. Opening, finding that twist and just exploring, where does it make sense for you to look? Where does it make sense for your left arm to be? And then looking forward, arms sweep up. Take a hold of that right wrist, lengthen and lean to the left. A little extra opening through side body. Inhale up through center. Exhale, hands down. Pull that left leg back underneath you. And then we'll take our arms out in front of us in puppy pose. So hips stay over knees. Take a breath in and then melt your heart down toward the ground. Forehead lands on the earth or a block. And then come all the way back up to all fours. Inhale, heart draws forward. Exhale, round in. 2 more cat-cows. And then find your way to neutral. We'll come onto a seat. So you can take your blanket underneath you if you'd like, under your sits bones, and we'll bring our feet together and let knees separate. If you'd like to support your knees with blocks, you certainly could. Take an inhale. Exhale, walk your body forward. Observe how your pelvis feels, your hips, your glutes. Another breath in and out. Walk your hands back in and we'll come into a comfortable seat. Now, if you'd prefer to end practice in Shavasana, make your way down onto your back. That's perfect. Otherwise, we'll find a comfortable seat. You can place your palms down, up, or maybe in a mudra. All that work we did turning inward during the yin portion of our practice, staying with that focus through some gentle movements. Now coming into a meditative state, either in Shavasana or a seated meditation. Letting go of the mantra of I am breathing in and I am breathing out. And just observe how you're showing up at this moment. Notice where your mind's focus goes.
Slowly bring your mind back to this present moment. Bring your mind back to your body in this space. And then bringing hands to heart center. Bow forehead to fingertips in gratitude. I wish you all abundant joy. Be well.